everyone. Today we are going to learn how to file returns on iTax, and this time we will file returns in the event where you have an insurance policy that is currently running, and therefore it means that you receive insurance relief at the end of every month. Now, Kenya operates a self-assessment tax regime where an individual or business voluntarily declares the income received during the year and the tax liability that results from this income. During the manual days, it was an uphill task for KRA to know who has filed returns and who has not. This is how the form used to look like. A manual form had to be filled. We can see that this is a form of 1994, and every other detail had to be given, and you can see the P9. This is the P9. This is the P9 form, and the P9 form used to be filled largely as we do it today. You can see the pay until we have the total tax deducted. But today KRA has invested in analytical tools that can easily give out reports of who has filed returns and who has not. And to add to this, it also checks the accuracy. And that's the essence of iTax and filing the returns online, as opposed to file return as the olden days. And therefore, all you need to do, you head over to your browser, whatever browser you're using, search for iTax. We will take iTax KRA. All you need to do now is to enter your PIN. Begins with an A. I have my PIN ready, and once you click confirm and it prompts you to give a password, it means the PIN is okay. And therefore we go ahead and we give our password so that we don't get it wrong. It's 138, add 3, it's 141. Login. And once you do that, you're able to log in. Now, as opposed to file new returns, this time we are going to file returns. It is also important to note that on this menu, you're able to do many other useful services that KRA offer. Imagine there's a situation where you want your PIN certificate, come to registration and take the option reprint PIN certificate. And therefore, in case someone asks you for your PIN certificate today and you don't have it, head over to the iTax, login, registration, PIN certificate, and there you're able to download your PIN certificate. And see there, all you need to do is to say that you are a taxpayer and then submit. Do you want to submit data? You say okay. Click here to download your PIN certificate, and there you have your PIN certificate ready. Yes, this is your PIN certificate. It's that easy, and therefore there is no reason to worry about losing your PIN certificate. Now the interest is to file returns. All you need to do is to come to returns, file returns, and there select that you are resident individual and next. Now once you get to this form, you are supposed to download the Excel sheet so that you can upload it later on as an attachment to this filing. Now I have tried using Mac OS and I have noticed it doesn't work so well with this download, and therefore I prefer Windows OS. It's easy and more efficient, and therefore you click where it's active, where it's written click here. That's where you click. Once you click, it will download. It is important to note that you need WinRAR or any software that opens zipped files. And therefore, in case perhaps you do not have this software, there are people who will try to open it and to refuse. All you need to do is head over to the browser and look for filehippo.com. There on filehippo.com, this is where you can download your softwares from. We are looking for WinRAR. WinRAR is a software that helps you to open zipped files, and therefore there are two versions. It depends with the bit of your computer. We have the 64-bit version and the 32-bit version, and therefore it is important to install the correct software for your computer. How will you know that? You head over to your files and you go to this PC. While there, you right click on this surface and say you want to know the properties. And once you want to know the properties, it will give you, it's a 64-bit operating system, and therefore I am free to download 64-bit. If you use the 32-bit, download the 32-bit version. Once you get this downloaded and you have it installed, when this Excel sheet will be downloaded, it will come zipped. All you need to do now is to open it. Once you have the Excel sheet opened, what you need to do, you need to enable editing because the macros have been disabled. Remember that the macros are the inbuilt formulas, and therefore we need to enable macros. Click on this section, enable editing, and once that is done, you also need to enable content. Click on enable content. The Excel sheet will be fully opened with a communication that please do not cut and paste any values in the workbook. That is okay. Now once it is ready to be filled, on this section, enter your personal identification number. That is your PIN that begins with an A. In this case, this is my personal identification number. What you need to do is just click out, and if it allows you to proceed, it means that the PIN is okay. Type of return, click on the drop down. In this case, it is original. If you had filed earlier and you want to change the filing, that's when you take amended. But in this case, we are filing for the first time, and therefore the filing will be original. Click on original. We have another question, return period from. Remember, in the year 2020, we are filing for the year 2019, and the format that should be followed should be day, month, year. And therefore, the return period is from the 1st of January 2019. Return period 2 is the next question. And therefore, remember, once you click out, you need to click again so that the cursor fully moves into return period 2. Return period 2, the 31st of December 2019, which is the end of the year. What you need to do is just to click out so that these formulas and the dates can be fully embedded in the Excel sheet. Now we have more set of questions that we need to answer with either a yes or a no, depending on what applies to you. Now there's a question here, do you have any income other than employment income? For most of us will be no, because we are full-time employees. Do you have partnership income? Put it here, but for this case, it will be a no. Do you have estate trust income? Leave it as a no. Has your employer provided you with a car? Leave it as a no, because employer has not provided us with a car. Do you have a mortgage? If yes, to be a yes, but in this case, no. Do you have a home ownership saving plan as it applies to you? Yes or no. Do you have a life insurance policy? Now this is the focus of this video. Many of us have life insurance policies, and this affects the way we file our returns. Now the question is, how will I know if I have a life insurance policy? Number one, you know because you applied for it, but also if you go to your P9, you can clearly see that there is a section you've been given insurance relief, and therefore it means you have taken life insurance policy or education covers or health covers, depending on the insurance policy that you've taken. And therefore what I need to do on this section, I need to change, do you have a life insurance policy, from no to yes. Click on this drop down and say that yes, I have a life insurance policy. Do you have a commercial vehicle? No. Do you earn any income from a foreign country? No. Have you been issued the exemption certificate for disability? Now, it is important to know that the government has been kind to those who have disabilities, and therefore, if you have any form of disability, you do not pay tax. And therefore, you need to change this section from no to yes if you have any form of disability. There's another question, do you want to declare wife's income? Many times it is still okay for your wife to file her returns separately. Now you can see all these other sections have been grayed out, and therefore we do not need to fill anything on this other section because it has been grayed out. Landlord details, this section can be left out. You can see this section has been grayed out and therefore it is left out. Tenant details, also leave this part blank. leave all these sections blank without filling anything because they are grayed out and therefore we don't need to fill anything. These sections do not apply to us. Now you have come to the end of the document. You have a chance of either clicking next to go to the next tab or just coming straight and clicking on the next tab. What do I mean? You can either click on the next tab straight, or while still on that tab you can click on next to still take you to the next tab, and therefore according to your preference and your choice you can easily maneuver through the document. Now what you need to do is to make sure that the window has been completely moved to the extreme left so that you can see the first row and the first column, A1. Make sure that you can see this section, because there are times the document will be slightly inclined to the right and therefore you need to move it to the left. We have a question here to fill: PIN of the employer. Where will we get the PIN of the employer? Right in our P9. Up here you can see the PIN of the employer, P0510968874P, and therefore what we need to do is to enter. Remember, it is all on caps. This is the PIN of the employer. It begins with a P, P0510968874P. This is my employer, and if it allows you to go to the next cell, it means the PIN is okay. Now the name of the employer, you can either write it fully or you can use abbreviation. In this case, that is my employer. Let's move to the next. Now you can click or you can use the tab key on your keyboard to move to the next cell. Now the gross pay, where will I find my gross pay? My gross pay is right on this column A. We are taking the total because we are filing for the entire year. Therefore, it is 570,452. That is my gross pay because I can see it right here. Now we move to the next cell: allowances and benefits from employment other than car and housing. Now that section is right here: allowances and benefits from employment other than car and housing. And therefore I can clearly see that the allowances and benefits from employment other than car and housing, it's nothing, it's a 0, and therefore what I need to put here is a 0. Please do not leave any section blank. Even if it's a 0 for your case, do not leave it blank. You need to fill something. If it's nothing, put a 0 to indicate that there is no value in that cell. Now we are moving on. Remember, you can use the arrows on this side to move the document more to the right so that you can see the other fields that are required to be filled. Now there's another question here: net value of housing. All the information can be found on the P9, and therefore come to the P9, net value of housing. The net value of housing is right here. Take the total 71,120, 71,120.50, and therefore it is important to take the value as it is. Do not neglect the points. They are important in making sure that we have an accurate account while we are filing. And therefore 71,120.50, yes, that's the net value of housing. You put it right there. Pension if in excess of 300,000. Pension is right here. Defined pension contribution is 12,960. This is what I sent for the entire year, as 1080 every month, accumulating to 12,960 for the entire year. And therefore, it is not more than 300,000. Therefore, what am I supposed to put on this section? I'm not supposed to leave it blank. I'm supposed to put a 0 because it does not apply to me, because my pension is not in excess of 300,000. Now we can see a computation that is on this section that has been grayed out. It's 641,572. Looking at this section, 641,572, it is exactly the same, and therefore it means that the computation has been correctly made, and therefore I am free to move to the next section. Now you can see that this other section has been grayed out, details of employment of wife income, because you remember we said initially that we are not filing for our wives, and therefore what we need to do is to leave this section because it does not apply to us. What you need to do is to click on next. Remember, you can click on next, or you can simply go to the next tab. Now let me use the next key this time. It has moved and I am right there. I have noticed that many times many of your Excel sheets will come with the first section hidden. Remember, we said make sure that the window is completely moved to the left so that you can see A1, the first cell right here. so that you are sure that you have come to the first section that is supposed to be filled. Now, on this section, there's a question: what is the PIN of insurance company? Remember, we have an insurance, and therefore I need to fill the PIN of insurance company. Now, there's some of you who, while getting the policy documents, the insurance company gave you their PIN. But in case you do not have the PIN of the insurance company, there is no problem. What you need to do is you need to go to the browser, because this information is available online, and therefore there is no reason to worry about anything. Now, what I need to do, I need to search for something. What am I going to search for? Let me search for, because I need the KRA PIN for insurance. For insurance companies, I can see it has come right here. KRA PIN for insurance companies. Now, this is existing supplier list as at 14th January 2019. This is not my interest. Value added tax, this is not my interest. About PIN KRA, that's not my interest, because I'm interested to see some value with P0 something. KRA PIN for corporate insurance, but I can't see the pins right here. Let me try this. KRA PIN numbers for companies, insurance companies. Yes, this is the one. This is what I'm looking for, and therefore this is what I need to open. I need to check on this tab to see the KRA PIN numbers for different companies, and depending on the speed of your browser, you will get results, and perhaps they will look like this. Now, you can see that we have a list of PIN of different companies, beginning with motor vehicle, but our interest is not motor vehicle. We have rubber and plastic production, that's not our interest. Home and business appliances, that's not our interest. We can see banks, we are also not interested with banks. Keep moving. Other financial institution and financial services, this is not my interest. There we go. I am looking for insurance. You can see APA Insurance Limited, a common one. Another is a CFC Life. Looking for another common, Blue Shield Insurance Company Limited. Now, depending on the company that you've taken insurance. Now, in this case, I want to see my insurance policy documents. This is my insurance policy document, and also another insurance policy document. And therefore, it's clear that the company that I have taken the insurance policy with is Pan Africa Life. Pan Africa Life. I have an insurance with Pan Africa Life, and therefore I need to search for Pan Africa Life. Now, this list can be long and confusing, and therefore you don't need to worry. What you can do, you can use the find function. What you need to press is Control and F for control find. A dialog box will be brought up here. What you need to do is to type the insurance company. My insurance company is Pan Africa Life. There we go, Pan African Life Insurance Limited. The PIN is right here, P051. Therefore, I need to write it somewhere, P. And therefore, once I have that ready, I can return to the Excel sheet and enter the PIN of the insurance company. Now I have it P0511498832D. And just click on the next. If it allows you to move to the next, it means the PIN of the insurance company is correct, and therefore you can proceed. Name of insurance company. The name of insurance company is Pan Africa Life Insurance Limited. Pan Africa Life. That is enough, or you can take it as it appears on this section, Pan Africa Life Assurance Limited. Pan Africa Life Assurance Limited. And therefore, we can move now to next cell. The question is type of policy. It can either be life, education, or health. And therefore, you have a section here depending on the type of your policy. How will I know the type of my policy? All I need to do is to come to the policy documents. And this is a life cover, and this is education. And therefore, I will declare that this is life. The insurance policy number. The insurance policy number is normally found on the policy documents. Just be sure to look through. You find it somewhere on the top. My number is here. Policy number. Write it somewhere. That's my policy number. Who's the policy holder? Policy holder in this case is self. Now we are proceeding. You can click on this arrow to help you drag the document more to the right. Commencement date. All this information is found on the policy document. The commencement date, look for it through the document. I am sure you'll see it somewhere. In this case, my commencement date is right here. Start date, the 9th of July 2014. It is on the 9th of July 2014. Remember, the format we are following is day, month, year. Maturity date. This information can also be found on the P9. Maturity date, it is the 10th of July 2029. The 10th of July 2029. It takes how long? It's a 15-year policy term, and therefore that is okay. The sum assured can also be found in the policy document. The sum assured is right here, 354,917. 354,917. Does it have decimals? That's exact amount, 354,917, I am sure. Now you need to enter the annual premium paid. Now, how will you know the annual premium paid? You need to come to the policy document, and this section here shows the total premium paid. Now, the premium is subjected to changes due to inflation, and therefore you need to consult with the payroll to be sure how much exactly is being sent every month. In this case, I have been sending 3154 every month, as opposed to what can be seen as 3066. Because of inflation, it slightly moved up to 3154. But remember, 3154 is the amount I have been sending every month, and therefore I need to find the annual, because the requirement or the form is to find the annual premium paid. And therefore, what I need to do is to take the premium paid per month, 3154, multiply by 12 months. Now, the annual premium paid is 37,848. I will enter it here, 37,848. That section is done. 37,848, just to be sure. Yes, that is okay. Now, I still have another policy. Let's take a look at it. Now, this was a life cover. There's some who still have education cover for their children. You can see that it clearly also has the policy number, the commencement date, the maturity date, the total premium, and therefore all this information can be easily gotten from the policy documents and filled into this Excel sheet. Still from the same insurance company, Pan Africa Life, and therefore the PIN will remain the same, P051, and you can see there's an autocomplete, and therefore that is it. Also, Pan Africa Life Insurance Company, there is an autocomplete that makes it easy for me because it is the same. Now, this section, type of policy, it is no longer life, it is not health, but this is education. It's education cover for my child. It's a child's details. You can see this is for the child education cover, and therefore education cover. You also be asked for the policy number. The policy number can be found right here. I'm sure if you look at your policy documents, you can see it. The policy number is E. That is okay. The policy holder, who is the policy holder? Certainly it cannot be self because it is a child. It cannot be wife or child. In this case, it is child. Once you do that, it will open the section where you need to fill the age of the child. I'm sure you know the age of your child. In case not, when was the child born? In the year 2004, and therefore the age of the child is 2020 minus 2004 to find that the child is 16 years. And therefore, back to the document, the child is 16 years. When is the commencement date? Back to the policy document. Date of commencement, 1st February 2011. And therefore, remember the format is day, month, year. It is the 1st of February 2011. 2011. Yes, you've got it right. According to your policy. When is the maturity date? Back to the policy document. The maturity date is 1st February 2021. It takes 10 years. And therefore, it is the 1st of February 2021. Just to be sure, the 1st of February 2021, commencement 1st February 2011. Now with all that filled, I can proceed. Now what is the sum assured? Back to the policy document, the sum assured is 200 plus 100, in this case, a total of 300,000. That is the sum assured, 300,000. All right, moving to the next, the annual premium paid. Now, the annual premium paid can also be found on the policy document. Right here, total premium is 3,000. But remember, we said because of inflation in the economy, the premium is subjected to change by the insurance company. And therefore, I am sure that every month I contribute 31.54 for the education cover of my child. And therefore, since it is annual, it is 31.54 multiply by 12 months because it is annual, 37,848. Therefore, we go back to the Excel sheet and it's 37,848. Just click outside and scroll all the way to the end, and I can see the insurance relief is 11,354.40. Let me confirm if this is in agreement with my P9. On the section of insurance relief, you can clearly see that the insurance relief that have been given annually is 11,354.40. This is 11,354.40, and therefore I can be sure that I have entered the correct premium because the amount of relief is 15% of the total annual premium paid. Now, that's all you need to fill on the section of computation of insurance relief. In case you still have another insurance cover, another policy, what you need to do, you just need to click on add rows. You click on add rows, it will open more rows, and there you'll fill the PIN of insurance company, the name of insurance company, the type of policy, insurance policy number, policy holder, in case if child, the age of the child, the commencement date, the maturity date, the sum assured, and the annual premium paid. Remember, this is the monthly premium multiplied by 12 to get the annual premium paid. Now, basically, that's all you need to fill on the section of insurance. Now, what you need to do is click on next or move to the next tab. Just click on next. We are doing well, and we are almost coming to the end of the filing, and therefore we also required again to fill the PIN of the employer. Now, the PIN of the employer, remember we had taken it earlier, P051 096874P. You can either type it here or just pick it from this drop down, P051 096874P. The name of the employer, type in the name of the employer. Taxable salary. Now, all this information can be found on the P9. Taxable salary, it's right on this column. We can clearly see this is the taxable salary column, 628,612. Therefore, 628,612, 628,612.50, 628 612.50, 612.50. Now that is well filled. I also need to fill a section of the tax payable on taxable salary. Tax payable on taxable salary. Where is that column? Can you see it? Yes, it's right here. Tax payable on taxable salary. 117,611. 117,611. It has a decimal point 60. And therefore be sure to fill out exactly as it appears on the P9. Now, the amount of tax deducted as payee, the amount of tax deducted, can you see it? Yes, it's right here. Amount of tax deducted, which is payee, comes all the way. Remember, we are interested with the totals. 89,361. 89,361. 89,361.20. Right there. Yes, at this moment I want to say that this is not my P9. It is borrowed from someone for the sake of filing, and therefore let's proceed without worry. We are done with the amount of tax deducted. Now you can also see that the amount of tax payable or refundable is 28,250.40. Now that amount is a summation of the two reliefs. Let's just confirm. 11, I'm taking this column right here, insurance relief 11, 354.40. Let's add the personal relief, which is 16,896. It gives us 28,250. Let's head to the Excel sheet, 28,250.40, and therefore we can see that that's the correct amount. Then we can be sure that everything is okay. We can proceed. Remember, all you need to do is to go to the end of the Excel sheet and click on next, or just click on the next tab. Let's use next. We are on this section, details of income tax paid in advance. Now this section, nothing will be filled in this section. Self-assessment tax, in case you have any advance payment, you fill all these sections, but most of us, it will not apply to us, and therefore what you need to do is keep this column and move on to the next. Either click on this or click on next. Let me click on next. It will take us now to the last sheet. What we need to do here is we need to find pension contribution. Let us go to the P9, go to your P9 and check the defined pension contribution. Yes, it's right here, defined pension contribution, 12,960. I just need to fill that figure exactly as it appears here on this section, defined pension contribution, 12,960. Once that is done, click out, allow it to compute for a moment. It's done. All right, that's all about the pension contribution. We are looking for the sections that have not been grayed out. Remember, whatever is grayed out, leave it alone. There's another section here, white, the personal relief. You come to this section for personal relief, go to your P9. In this case, leave alone the insurance relief, take the personal relief. Remember, we're being asked the personal relief. Personal relief, 16,896. 16,896. Just click out and allow it to compute for a moment, and yes, it is done. 16,896 is my personal relief, and that is the end of filing. Now what you need to do is to check on this section. Now I want to say clearly that you need to be keen on this section, because this now determines whether you underpaid tax or overpaid tax. Now a negative means that you overpaid tax. A positive means that you underpaid tax. And therefore, if it's a positive, please do not proceed with the filing, because it means that the amount that was sent to KRA is not the correct amount. And therefore, at this point, if you notice you have a positive here, kindly head over to the payroll so that you can get assistance on how to make the correction. The ideal is a 0, not even a negative, not a positive. It should be a 0. But in this case, I have a negative 256.20. Now, this negative can be explained. The reason why we have a negative is because the income that I received was not evenly distributed throughout the year. You can notice in the month of August, there was a slight increase. In the month of December, there was a slight increase. And therefore, what KRA does is that they take the total, divide by 12, and they subject it to tax. Not bearing in mind that one of these months we had an increase, another month a decrease, another month an increase. And therefore, the increase and the decrease brings the difference as a negative, and therefore you should not really worry about a small negative, a negative 100, a negative 200. Just make sure that you don't have a very big negative, perhaps negative 20,000, because it means this is the amount that should be refunded to us. Well, not refunded, because we have explained the reason why we have a negative figure. And even if it's to refund, we know that the government under collects tax, and therefore it is almost not possible for them to refund. Perhaps someday the government will have enough money and the refunds will be made. But for now, as it is, just don't mind about this figure. It's a small 256, a small figure like this. You can proceed. As long as you have a small negative or a 0, proceed by clicking validate. In case you have a positive, even it's a positive 10 or 20 or 30 or 100 or 200, please do not proceed with the filing. We have said, kindly contact the payroll office. And now, in this case, because I have a negative 256, I am free to continue with the filing. What I need to do is to click on validate. Once you click on validate, you give it a moment to work out so that I checks through the document to ensure that there are no errors. Now in this case, you can see that I have a communication that error has been found in the sheet. Let's find out which error has been found. Yes, the errors are here, that I need to provide the bank name because the 256 shillings should be refunded to me, and therefore the reference cells are here. But since this part is active, I just need to click on this part and it will take me straight where the error is. Now I need to enter my bank name. There's a long list of banks. You can see EcoBank, you can see Cooperative Bank, and Equity Bank, all the banks, Kenya Commercial Bank, KRA. My preference is M-Payment because what you need to provide here is your phone number, as opposed to selecting one of these banks. It will require many more details. Just click on M-Payment, the branch name, select your branch, if it's Airtel Money, Elma, M-Pesa, Orange Money, others, or Ucash. In this case, that's my branch. At the city, that's where I come from. Account holder's name, your name will be typed in right there. The account holder's number, in this case, because we have said it's M-Payment, what you need to enter now is your phone number, 07, and you proceed. After you have entered your phone number fully, just click out and allow it to compute for a moment. Now all that section has been filled. Now you need to skip all these tabs and click on T, tax computation. Remember, this is where we were before we were taken back to basic information because the bank details were required. Now click on tax computation. Remember, this is where we were initially. Yes. Now once that is done, click on validate again. And this time, the Excel sheet will still be checked for accuracy, for error. Therefore, just give it a moment and you are sure to get results in just a moment. Depending on the speed of your computer, its strength, you will get results shortly. Yes, finally, this is what you get, that sheets are ready to be uploaded. Do you want to generate an upload file? You say yes. In case you think there's an error and you still want to go back, you say no. But for this case, since we are sure that everything was okay, we click on yes. And you also wait for a moment for your computer to work and to generate a zip file. Now you can clearly see that a communication from Microsoft Excel is that you will find the zip file in a particular location. And almost ever, the file will be saved in documents. And therefore, once you're sure this is the place it will be saved, remember that the file name will appear as the date, the time, and your PIN. Remember, it's the 8th of May 2020. The time, this is the time, 0:24:56. This is the PIN. Therefore, you click on OK. Once that is done, you give it a second for it to complete the working. Yes, we are now sure that it has been saved properly. Now what we need to do, you need to go back to the browser. You remember, now here you click, since all these other places you have selected that it's an original. This is the return period. You remember it's from 1st January 2019 to 31st December 2019. And therefore what you need to do is to choose a file for upload. Now you have this window. You come to your documents and you look for the zipped file. It's a zip file. It's right here. Remember, it's the 8th of May 2020. This is the time and this is my PIN. I will click on open. Yes, I will click on the file and click on open, and it is attached. You can see that something has been attached. What you need to do is click on I agree to the terms and conditions and submit. And the question is, do you want to upload the form? I'll say okay. And there we go. It will work. And wow, we are done. The filing has gone through. Would you like to participate in a survey? Perhaps let me say yes and see how it comes about. It's opening. The survey from KRA. How much time does it take for you to prepare and submit income tax resident individual return? I'll say it's less than 30 minutes, or if it took you 30 minutes or 2 hours or 4 hours or more than 8 hours, kindly specify. How would you rate your overall experience with the iTax portal? My experience has been excellent. I do not know about you. It's fair, good, poor, very good. Kindly feel free to participate on the survey and be honest about your remarks. And therefore, you can give a feedback to KRA. I can say something to KRA. You can type whatever. If you have a comment, you have a suggestion, you you want to pass some communication, it's open for you to. Right, my comment to them is that this is an excellent portal, and I submit the survey. Once I do that, I'll be done with this page. You can close it, and here you can see that you have a chance of downloading your return slip. Now also the return slip has been sent to my mail. If I check my inbox, I can see that I have received a mail from admin iTax, and it's an acknowledgement of income tax resident individual return for the period 1st January 2019 to 31st December 2019. My receipt is right here, and I am now sure that my filing has gone through. What I need to do, I can either download it here or I still have it here, and therefore it means I am sure to get it again. What I can do now, I just need to log out so that I don't leave my account running, and there I go, it's logged out. I'm sure now it's possible for you to file return for yourself. In case of any question or any inquiry, kindly feel free to contact us. We'll come in handy to help. Thank you. I hope this has helped.